Research has shown that if you've experienced neglect or any form of abuse in your childhood, or if you come from an underprivileged or disadvantaged neighborhood, or if one of your parents are an alcoholic or a drug addict, the chances of you ending up in prison as a young adult are significantly higher. So how does that translate in today's language? So let's put it like this. If you wanted to find the most traumatized, neglected and disadvantaged members of our society, simply go to your local prison. That's where they all are. Now, a lot of people, you think of the prison, you think if you do the crime, you do the time. Well, you know, rehabilitation has to play a part in this. So what is the current thing in place to help people rehabilitate? Well, for many people, men, women and children as young as 14, in the UK today, the year is 2020, the current solution we have for the most traumatised, neglected and disadvantaged members of our society is to lock them up in a 4-foot wide cell with someone they don't know for 23 hours a day. Now, in the south of England, which is where I do most of my voluntary work in prisons, I have done voluntary work in prisons for 12 plus years now. Most of the population in the south of England, not every prison, but most of the prisons I've been into, the vast majority are young black men. Mainstream media aren't really covering this. They are covering a lot of the other stuff to do with Black Lives Matter, but they're not really covering this. And this isn't the reason I'm making this video to sort of jump on the bandwagon with this stuff, but it does play a part in all of this, because since the coronavirus has come around and the lockdown has been introduced, the prison population have probably felt it more than anyone. So you've got to think, for some of the young children who are locked up as young as 14, you think young 14-year-old girls and boys, you're not allowed any visitors from the outside. So your mum or your other siblings or family members can't visit you. And the lockdown has been increased from 23 hours a day to 23 and a half hours a day. So you've got to think, if you're a young 14-year-old boy or girl, you're not allowed any visitors and you're locked up in a 4-foot wide cell with someone you don't know, you've got to eat and use a toilet in front of, and you're locked in that cell with that person for 23 and a half hours a day. It's pretty inhumane, and I suspect that for many of these human beings, they're going to leave the prison system a lot more traumatized than when they arrived there. I haven't been able to help these people because the lockdown is in place, but I came up with an idea to try and make a difference from outside. So I called up my publishers, Pan Macmillan, and I said I want to somehow get my book into the prison system to help these inmates. Now, I knew that giving everyone a free copy of the book, a lot of people can't read, and the other vast majority of other inmates, not all of them, but they're not great readers. Like myself, I'm not a great reader, but they would listen. So we've teamed up with National Prison Radio. National Prison Radio is available in every prison in the UK, men and women in young offenders prisons. You can access National Prison Radio via the TV in your cell. The show is called New Chapters, and my audiobook, Young Offender, My Life from Armed Robber to Local Hero, is going to be streamed on National Prison Radio every Thursday at midday, and if you miss the midday show, it replays again at 6 p.m. I'll be doing a live commentary and a live interview every week. It's going to be running for the next 10 weeks. So if you have a friend or a family member, or even if you work in the prison system and you've read my book and you think this will really be good for this guy, or it'll be really good for my son or my friend, or whatever, please let them know. Share this video with them, because I believe my story can prove that you can come from the gutter, you can come from the depths of insanity, and you can turn your life around and go back and make a difference to help others do the same. So please, if you have someone in the prison system or you work in the prison system, share this video and help this go viral, and give me a thumbs up, because I know now more than ever the most disadvantaged, neglected and traumatized members of our society need our support.